All right. So I think that there is already quite a few participants. Keeps growing and growing. So for sure that in the next minutes, we will have more joining us. So probably what we're going to start doing is doing a little introduction for all the people that we will be assisting or driving this session today. So I am Oriol Lemon. I am the product director for Gemvision. And today we will be presenting this new session. That's the third session for the third virtual summit. And this is a subject that we have been talking about from the very beginning of MatrixGold. So we know that we have many customers coming from Matrix. So we thought that it would be on Wednesday would be a good time to start to talk with testimonials that has been going through this transition. So this is why we call it switching from Matrix to MatrixGold effortlessly. We have with us today Donald and Joseph. They have been Matrix users for a long time, and now they are using MatrixGold. So of course that me and Bo, we can talk as much as we can about transitioning from Matrix to MatrixGold, but at the end of the day, we work in a startup, we work in this product. So I believe that it's very good to hear from two users as Joseph and Donald. Also, I'm super happy on Bo joining us today because Bo is on our side, in the Gemvision side, but because he is the master trainee, that I call it in Gemvision, he's talking on a daily basis with customers. So we have many customers assisting many of the different workshops that Bo is providing, or the on-site trainings that we have, or the online training. So Bo is talking every day with customers who are experiencing this transition from Matrix to MatrixGold. So he knows a lot about this different experience. So just talking about Joseph, I have here a few notes about him, so everyone can know him a bit deeper. So Joseph has been using Matrix from Matrix 5. So going from Matrix 5 to MatrixGold, Joseph, I totally understand that was a big change. So now he was telling me that he just transitioned fully to MatrixGold full time. So I really like when I see these user experiences. So this is why we believe that it's something very important having Joseph with us.
Yeah, anytime I open up Matrix now, I'm like, man, this is an old looking computer, old looking program. Not pretty anymore.
And something that he was saying actually is that he never liked using primal history over the years, and now that we have the parametric with MatrixGold, he's enjoying it a lot. So thanks for joining us, Joseph, today. And Donald, it's pretty much the same. He has been using Matrix a lot. He transitioned on MatrixGold, and actually he's posting a lot of videos in YouTube about this transition. So thank you for that, Donald. I think that many people love also to see that, to watch this. Something that we need to tell to everyone is that Donald is in Japan. So now it's early, very early in the morning. So thank you, not just for being here with us today, also for doing it from Japan early in the morning.
Dedication to the cause.
Yes.
All right, so now that we have done the introductions, this probably will be the easiest session for me during the whole third virtual summit, because honestly, having these three people in this session, I'm not gonna say much today. I'm just gonna sit down and watch what they can tell us and what they can teach from this transition from Matrix to MatrixGold. So Joseph, if you want to go ahead and share your screen and tell us a bit about your experience with this transition, please, when you are ready.
Yep. Oriol, could you turn on
Yes.
screen sharing?
Just give me a second that I will make you co-host. So now you are co-host, and now you can start to share.
Perfect. All right, if you're not seeing that, just yell at me. I'm gonna jump in. So
Yes.
My name is Joseph Meadows, like he was saying. I'm going to talk a little bit about my transition into MatrixGold from Matrix, a little about my learning curve, and then a few of my favorite tools and tricks in MatrixGold. So I started using Matrix in 2004. I was 13 years old at the time. I'm a fourth generation jeweler. And so when my dad asked if I wanted to learn the software, of course I said yes. It looked fun. It looked like a video game. I'm almost 32 now. And so I'm getting close to my 20th year designing with a Gemvision product. Initially, I didn't want to switch to Matrix Gold. I would see it displayed at the shows, but I didn't understand the parametric side of it. And so it just looked like Matrix 9 to me. Like most people, we saw it as an upgrade and not a new product entirely. So we couldn't justify the cost. It wasn't until I had a heart to heart with some of the team members at Stellar and Gemvision and learned why they changed softwares and the vision for Matrix Gold that ultimately made me do the switch. So right away, I started using the Gemvision Academy to learn the new software. I would spend about an hour a night watching the videos and designing alongside. But really, the best thing I did was just to finish out my current Matrix projects. And then any new project that came into the store, I would force myself to use Matrix Gold. The hardest part really was just finding the new locations for all the tools that I was already familiar with. Now, the learning curve, for me, it was about 2 to 3 months total before I felt like I had a really good grasp on the program. You design slightly differently than in Matrix. There's a new refined order to designing. You kind of have to think about how you'll build something before you start, but really only if you want the new parametric function to work. You can still use Matrix Gold, just like Matrix, but what really excites me is the new parametric history. So I can't tell you how many Halo engagement rings I've made over the years. Every time someone ordered one, though, you would basically start from scratch. You have to redesign every element to fit their stone shape, the stone size, the finger size, etc. And we've been doing a ton of these, the hidden Halo designs. We've been doing a ton of these lately, but each one is slightly different still, slightly personalized with a different finger size, different stone shape, cathedral, no cathedral. But now with the help of parametric history, I can just modify a previous design I've made and create an entirely different ring in minutes. So let's jump over to Matrix Gold and I'll show you how that is. So this is the program here. This is a design I've made, that hidden Halo design. It features an oval in the center, a 9x7 oval. So let's change this to a round. Adjust that, and that's going to adjust here. Perfect. And let's change the size. Let's go big. Let's go like 3 carat, 9.2 millimeters. That'll load there. Perfect. And you can see the hidden halos following, the prongs are following. I'm going to pull it up a little bit. 7.8 maybe. So this is I love this, offset from the finger rail instead of like dragging it up. Now it tells me what measurement that is. Love that. And then check this out. The head builder. Now they have like a V'd profile head builder. You can change the bottom, the base style to be head cut to point. So super handy. I use that pretty much all the time. We'll drag that down though. And the next thing I need to do is pull this shank up to meet the new distance of that halo. So let's pull this out. I use the cathedral ring rail they have. So I can just modify that with the slider. I'm going to change the bend. We'll get that just a little more bend to it. And now I just need to pull that profile up. Slide this up into position there. And while we're here, let's just change the size of it. Let's go 1.5, 2.3, 2 there at the bottom. So the next thing we need to do, let's cut out the prongs there. So cut to ring rail. Select the ring rail. It's this one. Select the surface. We're going to use this. Got that cut out. And then the last thing I want to show you, because I've made this design with the parametric history, if I edit this ring rail, I can change the finger size. Right now we're at a 6.5. I'm going to adjust that to a 7.5. And you can see everything is going to adjust accordingly. Perfect. So there's no like, upload the finger sizer, You don't have to work with that. Then it changes it to a mesh and everything. Now you just change it in the parametric history. It's really, really handy. But you can see how fast that will. Yes, sir.
Just one second. Now that you finish this ring, if you would think about what you would have to do in Matrix if you would be doing this file, how long it would take, how many steps, extra steps you would have to do, right?
Right. So yeah, if I was designing this in Matrix, which I have done many times, again, I literally have to start from scratch. So I have to do my sweep on that hidden halo. This halo it's a parametric halo. So like you saw, I changed the stone size and shape. Everything adjusts to it. The Boolean already, it follows from the last one I did. So it's you kind of got to build it the first time, of course, but then any changes you make to it afterwards, it's just so quick and so easy.
I'm glad you showed that because those hidden halos are super popular right now.
Oh yeah.
Changing on the fly like that is super neat and definitely, yeah.
All right, so the next, my next favorite tool is rendering, but I will tell you first, they say good things don't come easy, and that was very true for me when I first started rendering in MatrixGold. I really enjoyed rendering in Matrix. At all the Gemvision symposiums, I would only enter the rendering category. It was one of my favorites. My goal was to make it look as lifelike as possible.
Can I just say, I love that you threw in the Mountain Dew. If you Gemvision Legacy, about Mountain Dew.
I snuck that in just for those. Yep, exactly.
That's awesome.
Now the V-Ray renderings, they look good. They're a little cartoony from Matrix, but they're okay. Here, this is a style of rendering I upload and send to a customer for approval. A couple of things to note when rendering in MatrixGold, you do have to Boolean around your stones now, and lighting is a lot more important than it was in Matrix. So let's do a little MatrixGold render comparison here. So we'll stay with this design. So like I said, the first thing you got to do is Boolean for your stone. So I'll click on those. F6 gem cutter library is what I use for round stones specifically. And I just changed the scale to like 102 or 103.
Joseph, before you go any further, something that I would like to comment now that you are just on this step, something that today we are talking Matrix from Matrix to MatrixGold, something that customers have been talking a lot about is what just you said, that it's about doing the booleans so the metal is not intersecting the gems and then you get this yellowish or this color in your diamonds. When it's gemstones, it's not that hard, but with diamonds, we know that we were suffering from that. But now, in the last release of, it has been probably in the 3.2, I would say. I can't remember now. But now we have what we call the render materials. So the render materials are totally different from the ones that we have from the very beginning. On these ones, you cannot rely on weights or anything like this. They are just for rendering and they don't intersect. So you use the metal from the metal render metals that we have and the render gems that we have.
Yep.
You don't need to do the Boolean. So we are listening a lot on this feedback. This is why MatrixGold is becoming better and better. So it's good you pointing out this thing because now it's something that we have improved.
Yeah. When I first started rendering in MatrixGold, I literally hated it because you had to Boolean for the stones, and I fought that, realizing you do have to or had to. But yeah, that's one of my that was one of my complaints too. But for this scene, let's go ahead and let's Boolean this out. So I do have some hidden stones underneath. I'm going to delete those cutters there and select my ring here. Under solids, they have the Boolean with parametric history or just a regular Boolean. Because we're done designing, I'm just going to do a regular Boolean, select my cutters, and let that cut out. So like I was saying, I'm used to having no intersection here into the stones. So I've just been following that pretty good. So the next thing I do, Bo taught me this, you drag with copy to get a second design out there. And basically what you're doing is you're breaking that parametric history. So you can see the design on the left here it's editable. It's still got that parametric history to it. But the design on my right is more like a matrix design. So let's go ahead and save this to a job bag here.
Also that new GB break history button too, FYI.
Ooh, I'm learning a lot then. I'm gonna pull up my rendering scene here. So this scene, I've already got my lighting set up. These two lights here, I've already got the intensity set up, and then I've got this faux model ready in position. So all I have to do is bring in my new ring and just drag that into position here. So let me rotate the second design out there. Slide him into position. Slide him in. I'm going to hide the gray layer there. And we'll go to rendering and render studio. So the stones, the Gem 01 layer already defaults to diamonds. So I'm not going to choose that, but for my Metal 01, it's going to white gold. Let's change that to yellow here. And what I like to do, it defaults to a shine of 1. I always change that to like 0.9 or 0.85, just so it's not so like mirror finish. Let's go ahead and hit render on that.
I turn my shine down as well. Whenever I do any renders, I tone it down just a bit.
Agreed. So in Matrix, it goes like the boxes, depending on how many like cores you have or something in your computer. Here in Matrix Gold, it shows everything kind of blurry, and then as it goes through, it starts to clean it up over time, depending on how many paths you choose. But what I want you to see here as it's cleaning up is I have depth of field added to this render. Now, if you add depth of field to a render in Matrix, it adds like 30 minutes or an hour to your rendering time, sometimes even more if you're doing a real heavy depth of field. But here in Matrix Gold, it's literally a click of a button. So I've got this toggle right here. I can turn it on or off. So you can see it's off here. It's real crisp in the background. If I turn it on, that depth of field is added. I can change the strength of that depth of field. And I'm doing this all before it's even done rendering. It's still rendering down here at the back in the background, but I can still adjust and change and tweak it to however I like, literally in a click of a button. So I really, really enjoy that. I'll close this. I've got the render in my presentation here, so let me pull that back up. So here I've got a Matrix versus Matrix Gold rendering comparison, and a couple more there. I'm only at the beginning of Matrix Gold really, and so I'm really excited to see where I'll be in just a few more months.
And Joseph, it's good to see these pictures, because something that it's true that the render has been always a very, very hot topic. So customers, with diamonds, and Bo has been dealing a lot with that. He knows what I'm talking about. But we are always looking about, what Matrix was doing. But it's also worth to mention that the diamonds that we can see from the Matrix render, they are very sparkling. There is a lot of colors. But there was a lot of customers also complaining about this, because they were telling us, yes, there is a lot of colors, there is a lot of sparkling with these diamonds, but they are not real. So once I get this render and I show it to the customer is expecting something that once I give it in real is not the same. So, and it's not just what we are working now with the render, all the render engines from our software and from all the other softwares, the technologies that they are using is very, very different from the one that we were using in Matrix. So even in Matrix that we were using V-Ray today is using another engine that is not the same that we used to have back in the days. So everything has changed a lot. I think that the direction is much better, the one that we have. And actually looking at the ring that you have done in yellow gold, just with Matrix Gold, I'm emboking chime in here, but I believe that if you would use the new materials that we have, it would look even better, right? Bo?
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just happy you put kind of side by side. It kind of shows just how good the ray tracing rendering engine is, and fundamentally, V-Ray essentially put a picture on top of the object, right? Whereas Matrix Gold, these objects actually like obey natural laws of physics. So it just, produces this much more realistic lifelike render that you obviously can see. So love it.
Thank you. So the parametric history and the rendering, those are definitely some of my favorite features. But I want to talk about a couple more noteworthy tools that I've been using on the daily here. Let's load in this new design. So in this is for rope builder specifically. So I used Matrix 8 in my Matrix days. So Matrix 8, if you wanted to build a rope design, you'd had to create your spiral, you have to create your profile, and then sweep to it every single time. I think in Matrix 9 there was a rope builder, but I can guarantee you the Matrix Gold one is a lot more stronger. So I've got this just simple solitaire design. So let's make some changes to this just so you can see how quick this is. Pull this up to 1.5. And it's really tight on this rope. Let's change that to 12 here. Perfect. And I'm really thick on the top. Let's change. I built this with an offset off the finger rail. If I change the offset to 0.6, it'll pull it in closer, get a little less thick. And you can see everything I'm doing on this one side is mirroring over to the other side because I have the parametric history mirror turned on. So it makes it really, really quick to see what you're doing. So just like that, I've got a wider design, but let's not stop there. Let's add in some diamonds on the shank here. So if I go into curves and extract ISO curve, I'm going to select my shank here. And instead of like adding in stones, adding in my cutters, all individually, I've already got a grouping of stones and cutters set to a curve over here. So if I edit these stones, and then in the dynamic commands, if I just change the curve to be this new curve right here, everything, it just follows that new curve now. And because the cutters are assigned to the gems, they're following with it. So it makes it a lot easier and faster for sure.
I love that you're showing how to relink parametric history.
Yep, I love it.
I use it all the time on heads and gem on curves. So
absolutely. So, and then another cool thing, it's hard to see what's going on underneath. So if I just Boolean difference with the parametric history, if I include my shank and my cutters, it'll make that cut. But if I need to fine tune the location of these stones, I just pull those in and you can see the cutters move and it automatically does that Boolean just like it was doing for that hidden halo design. So you can really see what the placement of everything. Let's do that one more time on this side here. So I'm going to do an extract ISO curve there, and we're going to pull in our curves or our grouping here again. Edit those stones, and like I said, I'm going to change the curve to be this new one. Pull that into position, and this one up. And I'll do a Boolean again. Those cutters. Oh, and I'm off a little bit on my curve. So if I just adjust the location of this ISO curve, because it's parametric, everything follows. So again, I can make my fine-tune details, change everything, and I can see what's happening and not have to like cut it, undo. In Matrix, cut it, undo, cut it, undo. So it's really, really quick and really easy to see what's going on. So because I introduced a Boolean command, my mirrors it's kind of wonk. So if I just edit this mirror and change what's in this object box to be my new stuff, everything will follow. You can see that starting to take shape. It's super quick, super easy, and the parametric side just makes it so much more fun. But talking about like gems specifically and gems on curve. So this is a design that we're working on, but I'm going to show you how powerful the new gems on curve command is. So if I edit this, let's do gems on curve here and drag these into position. And I'm going to change my orientation, change that to down, adjust my spacing a little bit here. And just like a matrix, I'm going to change the middle taper, get that a little bit bigger there in the center. got some guidelines already out there, so I'm just matching up to those guidelines right there. And the same for up top, this stone, that one's a good size. But my end stone here, you can see it could go a little bit bigger. So now I can turn on taper end and adjust that stone size specifically, so differently from the start size. So I've got an end size, a middle size that I can change, and the start size, which I found very handy in many scenarios. And I'll show you this, a couple images here imported from Matrix. You can see, so the gem maps in Matrix always rounded everything to the nearest, 100th decimal point, which was so very annoying. Every time I would run this command and I would try to give that to the jeweler, they'd be like, what are you doing? You'd have to like grab a bunch and then change them all to 2 millimeters, grab the next 3, change them all to 1.8. It was so annoying. But now in MatrixGold, if I do my gem map here, pull that over, you can see now they're whole sizes, they're orderable sizes. It's so much more easy to do like a tapered design and have it create the layout for you. Even in the gem report, if I calculate this, you can see all my stones are there. Again, whole sizes, orderable sizes. So I absolutely love the new gem on curve command. Going into a little bit more of gems, there's a new command called, or a command, I don't know if it was in Matrix, I don't know, but gem list. So this is great. This command is great for like, if you have specific stone sizes that we want to use on a shank. So like this one, I'm using customer stones that taper, but they have, the first 2 stones are the same size. So the first 2 stones I've listed at 2.8 millimeters here and here. My middle stone is at 2.25, and then my last stone is at 2 millimeters. But all of these are still attached together. I can still move them. I can change the spacing on them. It's still, you know, part of that dynamic command. Where if I just did a gem on curve and did that taper, it would just pick any size. It would definitely not do the first 2 at the same size. So gem list has been really good for that style of designing.
Another use case that I saw for this gem list on curve recently.
Yeah.
So whenever you use like a gem cut, right, like a sapphire or ruby, they're kind of cut differently than a diamond, right? So whenever you use gem list on curve, you can do one as a diamond cut, then you can do one as
like a sapphire or something.
A sapphire gem cut, then you can do diamond, so you can alternate them like that.
Yep. I've done alternating like a round and then marquee, and then round and marquee for like a band. I've done it with gem list.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed that command. I even have here another rope builder. Everything on this design, it's quad mirrored, so everything's following along with it. So I've enjoyed those. The last thing I want to touch on here, let me do file new and open up another one. So we use the B9 printer here in the store. And with that, you have to support your models. So I've got a design here that I supported. Because my supports are so tall and so long, I actually added in all these horizontal supports just to give it a lot more structure as it's printing. And like supporting this design probably took as long as it did modeling it. I hate supporting designs. It's one of my least favorite things, but now they have a new tool in manufacturing called the curtain command. So if I run that command and I draw a line up the sprues, I'm gonna do one more. So it's adding in my supports there, and it's adding in those horizontal supports at an angle, so it even prints better than just a straight line. So this has been a game changer for me when it comes to supporting designs. I love this feature. Like I said, it's drastically improved my support time. I still hate supporting. Send it to me or send it to Stellar. You know, I don't want to do it, but
funny caveat. So that tool was actually used internally, and then we saw the value in it, so we pushed it externally. So
I thought it was, because this is, I feel like I've seen like clips of it from the from the Gemvision teams. Yep, exactly. So, but I love that.
This is amazing. I mean, And what I really like of your presentation, Joseph, is that you have shown very different designs. So pendant, rings, render. So man, you did it very well. So you are really showing how you can achieve any kind of design with MatrixGold. That actually is why we are here today for. So amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So,
so
let me switch it over then. I'll cancel, I'll turn off my screen share and we'll change it over to Donald.
And Donald can go ahead and just start to share the screen.
All right, yeah. I'm going to actually pitch my PowerPoint out the window. Don't think you want to see the PowerPoint. This will be basically for all those out there that are viewing that have used Matrix 9, thinking about the switch. It's just a real quick kind of very small touch on everything that MatrixGold really offers, the game changer type thing. So we're just going to go in and grab a ring rail, right? Normally you go over to the MatrixGold, you click, ring rail, come down here. Nothing really major difference there, right? Now I have my curves set a little thicker, of course. So that's just for my videos, for my people to see what's going on. But if I'm not even going to select my ring. Normally you select your ring rail, place profile, right? I'm just going to go in and actually grab a profile and put it on there. So I click, automatically it pops up. Boom, you're already saving time, right? A click or two. It's not much, but each one of those will add up. And that's what I'm finding. It's so more interactive and so much more quickly how I can get to a design. I'll just switch a profile here real quick just to show it. And then again, normally if I was to add another profile, I'd go here, add profile, and it would place it wherever that one is, and I have to drag it around, right? Well, now if you look, if you already have Matrix Gold, you already know all this stuff. But if that ball, wherever that ball's at, and if I hold down shift, it automatically locks into my quad. So I can just place another profile right away. It's very quick. So again, another click or two saved, right? And if I grab this, I'm just going to take this, hold down shift, it goes in by increments of 5 now. So it's very quick. And then again, you click on your profile handle there to be able to switch. You just click on the ball there. And then I can drag it out in profile by increments of 5 very nicely, very quickly. And then I'll drag it up. So I'm just going to kind of really show something here in a few seconds. Now, at this point, right, you would have to go back to surface 1 and then select your rail, select your profiles and sweep. You don't have to do that if you want to close string. Right away, you can just go over to your auto sweep, activate auto sweep, boom. You already have your ring out there. So again, a couple more clicks saved, right? That's time, right? Time. And I can go in here and start to even manipulate this and see it as I move it. To me, that is, I love that part of it. I can actually see things and manipulate things as I'm seeing it actually in real time. To me, that's a game changer. I absolutely love that feature. I'll just go ahead and select this right now, and we'll change it to a shaded view here. And now I'm not going to select my item or anything. I'm just going to go into my curves and extract an ISO curve. So I'll just grab, boom, my ISO curve's already out there. I'm saving time. And if I drag it to where it disappears, I know it's in my mid. All right away. I know it's in my mid. So if you look over here, it's a 0.5. You can do all kind of manipulation here. If you wanted to, you can angle it. You can do all kind of other things there. I'm not going to go into that. There's one particular thing I really want to show, and this is really, I think, the difference between Matrix and MatrixGold. It's the power of how intuitive and friendly the program is. So I'm going to grab my gems here real quick and just do gems on curve. And I just want to set it up just real quick a little bit. I don't have all these sweet designs Joseph had, sorry. Mine's more about the people who are actually really going to be trying to think about the differences in the program. So I have them out there. I have to select my object, right? Set it to my object. So I just click on target object, select my object, go over here to my girdle and click there. Did I freeze?
I see you still. No.
Oh,
Okay.
it just moved. Yeah.
Can't get my girdle there for some reason. It's not letting me select. Okay.
Something that I'm listening all the
Okay.
time.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I have to accept that. So let me go back. Sorry. Grab those, put those on gems on curve, manipulate those just a little bit, just to kind of show off. Yes,
No,
yeah,
no.
I get click happy.
I do too.
That's
something that I'm listening all the time is saving time, saving time, saving time. I think that this is very, very important, just telling this, because at the very beginning, when we were making MatrixGold, we were trying to make a nice software that everything was working fine. But when you reach that level of software that it's super powerful as it is now, what you were saying, 1-2 clicks less, this is huge for any person who's designing 8-10 hours per day. These 1-2 clicks that you are saving, at the end of the day, it's a lot of time. So I think that it's super, super important.
Yeah. And you can even extrapolate that. Let's say, 10 clicks, 20 clicks a day over 10 years, that's time of your life you can get back.
Oh, yeah, and these are just really the small things that I'm going to be showing today. There are so many larger things, like Joseph was showing, connecting everything together and going back, and those are the huge things. Today, I'm just going to really be showing the smaller things, but the time that I noticed I've been saving is just, it's totally night and day, and I just I love it. And we'll dig in here a little bit so that people can kind of see. I'm just going to go ahead and select that real quick, and then go to my cutters. Now you can hit your F9 key or F6 key to get your context menu out there, of course. And then I go and grab my cutter, put it on flat. That's kind of my go-to, and I can do my manipulation here real quick. Nothing really major difference here for the most part in the cutters. Let's just say I like that, right? And then I can go ahead and add my gem cutters. Let's complete that command. That's nice touch there. Thank you.
Yeah. Little fail safe.
Yes, right. And then I can add my cutters there and then go in and manipulate it up, right? Now, if your customer is sitting next to you, which sometimes mine are, right? You are able, let's say this is kind of what we're going with right now. I go ahead and click, right? At this point, I would have to probably go back and do everything in Matrix 9 for the most part. But now the customer, I want to change this up. So you can actually go and click and always go back and edit things right away and drag them around to all different kinds of areas. Did I select those stones to... Let's see here. Let's get out of that. Let's make sure I selected my stones to connect them to my surface. So we'll edit. See, I can go back right away, right? And click on that, select my object there. There we go. And then go back. So I can go in there and manipulate anything back and forth on the fly really quickly, and update and move things around, which I think, to me, is huge, right? And then once I get it into place, maybe where I want it, I can just go ahead and accept it. And at this point, the wanting stones, you have to go and mirror, rotate, copy or whatever. Now you can just go to transform, go to mirror parametric, select your items that you want to mirror. That would be my cutters and my gemstones. Hit enter. Automatically I'll put it on the one side, but I can go to my X command and go to my XY, and boom, I have everything up there very quickly, right? How much time is that saving? I mean, seriously. And then I can go ahead and accept, and they go, oh, you know what? I want those a little closer, a little further together. That's no big deal. You can just go back and go ahead and start editing it as you go. And everything updates as you're moving along. So you can, and then you can go back and change the stones. You could all kinds of things right away, right? So that's how intuitive and how friendly the program is, and how quick you can do things very quickly and efficiently, and how friendly the program is. So let's go ahead and take that. There is one thing here I want to go ahead and show real quick, and that's the Boolean difference. First, you select your item you want to cut, and then you select your second surface, which will be my cutters. and I'll just go ahead and hit enter here. Give it a second. It's a lot of geometry. It's, oh, yeah, there we go.
The
Now it
Boolean
gives,
oops, sorry.
so,
Didn't mean to cut
go
you off.
ahead.
The Boolean maintaining history was probably one of my favorite additions to Matrix Gold, just because if you remember back in Matrix, trying to maintain Rhino history, you know, you do a sweep, put gems out and do a Boolean, and then you try and it breaks history. You know,
Yeah.
and here you can see it displayed, and even after you accept the Boolean, you can change the ring around. So.
And everything updates as you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gives you like a preview, right? So if you want it, then if you want to change it, you go back, change it, or you can just go ahead and manipulate it. So that's kind of one of the I guess the basic features, time saving and very intuitive. You know, I absolutely love that part of the new program. One more thing here real quick. I'm just going to draw something.
Just one thing, Donald, before you start with another subject is, now that we were talking about the Booleans, for people who's coming from Matrix, something that I believe is very, very important to let everybody knows is that every time that we are making a Boolean, because then we can recover and make any change, we keep all this information back in the scenes. So something that we see from customers who used to work a lot with Matrix is that they do the Booleans at the very beginning of when they are designing. I always like to advise everyone to leave the Booleans for the very end, if possible, because then some people get frustrated because they start to say, okay, I made this change and now it's taking me forever to see the change happening in my design. So it's very, very important to keep this in mind. Every time that you do a Boolean and you have one Boolean from one Boolean from one Boolean, if at the very top of this parametric you make any change, it means that we need to recalculate the 3 Booleans. So this is why sometimes it takes that long. And it's good to keep in mind when you start to design with MatrixGold to say, okay, I'm doing all these parts that are parametric. As you were showing, Donald, you can make any modification, but always keep in mind when you are doing the Booleans that this is what it's taking more resources from the computer. So always try to avoid doing it at the very beginning of your parametric design.
Yeah, awesome tip. Thank you very much for that. I'll definitely be using that one. The next thing real quick is just very simple. I'm just going to grab a circle and I'm going to hold down shift so it locks it in my 90 degrees, right? And then draw it out there. And then I'm going to go ahead and select on my points, right? Very quickly, very quick way to get a heart, right? Everybody probably already knows this. And then I just go ahead and delete these, and then I can go in and manipulate any shape heart that I would like to have. So you can get all different kinds of heart shapes out there, right? No big deal. Then I'll go ahead and I'll split this one real quick right down the middle. So I'll take that and I'll split it with this one in the center and hit enter, and then just go ahead and get rid of that center one. Don't need it. And I will go and I will take those 2 surfaces and hold down that little ball there, extract it down. I'm going to go ahead and change these just for help on myself. And I'm going to hide those yellow. So I'll grab those yellow, change them to gray. I always keep everything sort of like Bo, I think. So I have my surfaces out there and I want to get a little puffed heart shape, right? No, very easy. Just go and grab my patch, hit my patch tool here, and then select this edge here. Select this edge here and then hit enter. Of course, nothing's going to show there. Oh, no, right? No. You have all kinds of manipulation you can do here. I'm just going to go ahead and just hit preview. And there's my puffed heart, right? And I can do more manipulation in here, but I'm not going to, that's not really what I wanted to show. I'll just go ahead and accept this. So I'm going to take my green here real quick, and I'm going to keep that, of course. And with patch, sometimes it doesn't always come out planar. You can see there's just a little piece there down. So what I'm going to do is grab another thing real quick is you can go in here and drag commands over and set this up to, if you're working on something specifically, and you want certain commands, you don't have to go through your ribbon there. You can just set it this quick commands up any way you want, add all kinds of different commands in there. It makes it very quick to, again, quick, right? Going back into changing things very, very quickly and easily. So I'll just click a double here and then just drag it out. And then I will take my object there, click here, oh, broke history, no big deal. Click on a negative 0.2, just drop it down just a smidgen there. And then I will go ahead and take this surface and split with this curve here, hit enter. And then just now I have a planar surface I can work with, right? And this next part is what I really kind of really like. First, I'll dupe this edge, and I have my yellow on. So now it will take that curve all the way around because I have it planar, right? And then I'll just go ahead and hit enter. And if I go to my top view, I can click on my checkerboard, hold down shift, and I can manipulate that curve. No big deal, right? But the project command, right? If I go to curves and I go to project, right? And I take that curve and I project it to this surface here and hit enter, go to my top there and hit enter. Now it should be there it is. And then take that curve, I'll change it to a different color. Let's go ahead and accept that. Take that curve and I'll just change it to yellow so we can see it a little bit better here. And one thing, I have a single surface out there, right? A NURB surface. So definitely need to check direction. So DIR, direction, they're upside down. So we'll want to flip those for the next part of this, right? And then hit enter. So I can go to now, select that curve and go to my surface and just do a push pull. Whoop. What I do? Okay, there we go. All right, and then I can do a push pull with this curve. Select the curve. And there, right away, I get the push pull. You can do manipulations very quickly, very easily over here, right? Let's just go ahead and accept this, right? So boom, I accept it. I've got my green surface, which it'll automatically do for you. Keep it. And then I'll select this, go to my green here. And now what I can do, let's go back to the top here. If I select that bottom curve, right, that I did the push pull with, I still have all history there, right? So say, no, I don't want a pave here. I want to go ahead and do more manipulation. I can change that to where now I can do filigree work out here and do some pave in here. I can change it any kind of way I want. I can move it around and the push pull automatically updates. So just off my fly, if I'm just designing something on my own and I'm trying to think about it, I can make all kind of changes very quickly, take one design, turn it into 50 different designs very easily, very quickly, which I think is awesome for the program. It just really, it's very, very friendly, right? So now my favorite command's coming up here. So let's go ahead. What I do, let's back out of that. Sorry. Okay, I got my surface. Go to my solids here real quick, and I want to extract an ISO or a surface. Extract surface. So we'll extract this surface here, and I have that surface. I'm going to change that just so I can always remember. Extract surface. I'm going to change that color just so I can always remember that that surface is not joined. I kind of do that. I change the color so I can make sure. Oh, if they're all green, I might misinterpret that they're joined and they're not. So this way I can tell, okay, I need to join those together. So this is actually my favorite command, and thank you very much, Gemvision people. And that is the new Pave build. If you remember the old Pave builder, right? That big, huge box and going in there and manipulating all that stuff, right? Now, the only thing I have to do is click my Pave builder, click on my surface, hit enter, and boom, there's my stones. And not only there are my stones, I have a pop-up box that I can go in and manipulate 150 different ways. I can make them larger, I can make them smaller, I can put my distances a lot different. So I can do all kind of different small manipulations in here. very
I think,
quickly.
not to cut you off, Don, but I think
No.
whenever you share, I think when you shared your screen, you selected just the program, so they're not seeing the dialog box, but just know there is a dialog box right there.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, no worries. I was just giving some reference, but yeah, also to
Yeah.
kind of touch on that, in Matrix, I never use the Pave. I always write
Right,
about
right.
them on surface all the time,
Yes.
no matter how
yes.
many.
Yeah, I mean, this command right here, I am just in love with. It's just so intuitive, so quick, so easy. Sorry about not being able to see the pop-up box, because really there's a lot in there that you can manipulate. So make sure you check that, of course. If you're not into the Matrix Gold yet, you're missing out here. I'll just go ahead and one more time real quick, since it is so quick, and just say I like that, take it, right? So hit enter. There's my gems, right? Not only here, right? So we have some spots. The next thing you want to do is very easy, is go to gem springs, right? Now I select my gems, enter, select my surface, enter, and now I get another pop-up box. Maybe you can't see, and I apologize for that. But you have a pop-up box that I can go in and manipulate all different kinds of things. I can select gem size, I can select distance between gems. There's all kind of things. And if I click add gem, I have a UV and a UV. So if I click on U, I get them in both directions, right? And if I click on V, I get them in the 3 direction. And if I click on UV, I get them in all 4 directions. So you can go in there and lay out all kind of designs and everything very, very quickly, very, very fast, a time saver to the max. So let me just go ahead and throw a couple stones out here real quick. I'm not going to be really, better back out of that one, huh? Let's abort that real quick, but it's so easy. Gem springs, gems, enter, surface, enter, pop-up box goes, add gem, U direction only. And then I'll make those a little bit smaller in my dialog box there, and I can just pop them on there. And let's just say that's what I like, and we'll accept that, right? And hit enter. Now, select my gems, they're all already grouped together, right? So I don't have to go back there and group anything, or everything's just time saving. Then I can go to my settings and do the Pave prongs, and then select my surface, and then all my prongs will show up automatically. And then you can go back and then do prong on surface to add those extra ones in there. To me, it's just very quick. And then once you get it all the way you want it, all you have to do is select it, go back to your mirror parametric, and then it will automatically give you the same area, right? You just click off the Y, click on the Z, and there's everything all together. Hit enter, select everything, join it together. Check your surface, close poly surface, add your bell, and you have a appended really ready to go very, very quickly, right? The kind of the last thing that I really like, and if you notice, I have a pattern here. Everything's intuitive. Everything is like, you can see it as you do it. So go to my tools, grab a ring rail, just go ahead and hit enter here. Is the Signet Advanced Builder, right? So if I select it, I don't have to select my rail. It just automatically pops up. I have all these commands over here that I can manipulate with. You can do push pull very quickly. Just click on there and to manipulate it with the handles here or over in your dynamic commands. But what I love absolutely about this one here is maybe you've seen it before. If you have not seen very many Matrix Gold videos, this to me, I just absolutely love. I can go back into my editor, right? I want to edit that profile, and now I can manipulate and see it as it's happening. So if I have a customer sitting right next to me and they want a certain shape or something like that, I am able to go back and manipulate it. I can add extra points in here and be able to have more control over how I manipulate it. And everything is you can see it as you do it. And to me, that is a game changer. And this is just, like I said, some of the smallest things that are in here. The bigger ones, I think Joseph touched on a little bit more, but there's so many, and the time that you'll be saving and everything is just, it's huge. It really is. And seeing it as you do it just makes it much more easier, much more quicker, and more efficient, in my personal opinion. If you're a large manufacturer and you are not using Matrix Gold, you are doing your company an injustice. I mean, seriously, to take one design and be able to change it in 10, 15, 20 different designs within a couple clicks, you're saving so much time. You're creating a larger inventory. It's huge. It really is. I mean, I'm not overstating it.
It's really good at doing run-ups, and especially with stone sizes and finger sizes, stuff like that. So you're definitely right.
And I think that there is two main directions about Matrix Gold and the parametric, because a lot of times there is independent jewelers that they are saying, actually, I'm not a big manufacturer, so I'm not going to create a lot of variation from the different pieces. But as you both were showing us today, it's not just to create huge collections. It's just what you were showing, Donald, with the Boolean, where you could see in real time the changes, even with the heart. So you were moving the heart around the base surface, so you were getting the variation from that design just to show it to the customer, right? So it's allowing you to be more creative at the end of the day, because you see the results in real time. So amazing what you have done. And now let me tell you something. While I was watching the both of you and the amazing presentation that you have done, I was thinking we need what we can do to do something at the same level, right? So I just want to announce that we will release a new update in like 13 days, so probably will be at the end of May, and we are already testing this new version. And while you were showing me this, I just text Boy and I said, "Oh, why don't you share the screen and we show what it's coming in early June?" So we will share the screen, and I know that we are running out of time, but I think that it's good to show a few tools, so then we can see what it's coming. So Bo, if you want.
Do it. Let's do it. Yeah, you want to open up share for me?
Yes, sorry. All right.
So we're going to give you guys a little sneak peek, I guess. All right. Let me organize this real quick. This was just something I was working on, so that's not in the update, but let me do a file new and show you guys some of the new tools we've been working on so diligently. Have you guys seen it, Joseph or Donald?
I don't think I have.
No. All right. All right. So first thing you can see right here, we'll get to this one in a second, but let's import a few curves from my job bag. Computer is taking time. Probably should have restored it, but that's all right. All right, so the first one right here, you see a loft, right? But guess what? It's dynamic. So let's give it a try. Boom. Right, you can change the loft type. You got a few right here. Once you accept it though, right, I have pretty much all the capabilities of a Rhino loft now. I can extrude SRF, right? And guess what? If I manipulate this, everything updates. So this will be beneficial for multiple use cases, but in particular, one that I like is if you have a cathedral, right, and you're trying to draw scroll works on the interior, you can loft between the two cathedrals, make a surface, and then you can interpret curve on surface. So it's a pretty neat one. And then the next one, which Oriole and I are really big on. So let's put a ring rail out here and let's run our profile placer. Let me change that profile over to something square. No peeking on the right side, guys. Let's see you guys looking already. I have a lot of profiles, so that's why it's taking a second.
Yeah, always it takes a bit of time the first time that you load them. Then once you have them, the next time it goes very fast.
I know I need to delete some. You can see all these user created ones. I have so many.
No, because you also, now that we are talking today from Matrix to MatrixGold, What I can see in your library is that you have all the ones from Matrix. So the people needs to be aware that if you want to import all the ones from Matrix, in just one click, you can do it from MatrixGold.
Yeah, you definitely can. All right, so over here, right, we can see we have a new toggle, right? Hollow profile. So when I toggle this guy on, you can see it offsets that and hollows it out, but I can control the trim and the thickness, right? So let's do this. And when I auto sweep, right, it's already hollowing. So that's a pretty neat one as well. You can also come here and left click and add, right? And it'll mirror that one. And then we can taper them down. We can make them wider. You can do all sorts of
keeping always the same thickness. So this is something that the people was very interested with. Even you move the total width or the total thickness, the internal thickness is always the same.
Yep. Yeah, so that's really beneficial for sure. Before you used to have to duplicate a ring inside and then Boolean, or try and sweep it like this, but sometimes it wouldn't always work out correctly. So this is a new way. But last but not least, and one that I'm most excited about. So let me extract an ISO curve real quick. Put them at 0.5. Then right here we have offset curve on surface, right? So I can select the surface, select my curve. It'll offset it relative to the curve, to the surface, but I can do both sides. And then I also have a count. Right, so you can see this one will be beneficial for gem on curve, laying out Pave, stuff like that.
And now you can edit anything and always will keep following. So that's,
so
I think that we should call this tool Boss tool, because he's the one who was pushing for it. So they didn't allow me to do it, but I would like to do that.
These are like all the tools I've been looking for still in MatrixGold.
Yep. Well, we've heard, customers, and we are diligently working to develop new and exciting things, as you can see. Laurie,
actually, from the chat now, there is Laurie who's asking any change. You all are working on dynamic fillets and chamfers. Look, actually, the tools that we are getting in MatrixGold is from comments like this one. At the end of the day, it's not myself or boss saying what we have to do with the software. It's just listening to customers, prioritizing what customers are asking for, and putting it in the software. So I think that it's very, very important, even for customers coming from Matrix, right? So they what happened is that Matrix took like 20 years to be built. So there is no way that you can do the same in just 4 years, right? There is no one who can do that. So no any software can build that we did with Matrix in just 2 or 3 years. So the first thing that we did is just we create this very, very strong base where we could keep growing, and this is what we did in the beginning. But now that MatrixGold is a lot more robust, now it's the time, to listen all these little details from customers like Joseph, Donald, or even all the customers that Bo is talking about when he's teaching on these classes on customers coming from Matrix. We get all this, we cook it in a installer with all the developers, and then we come out with all these tools that at the end of the day is what the customers are asking for. So any feedback, always don't hesitate to bring it in through all the different channels that we have, email or forum, because it's very, very important for us to keep growing in the right direction.
Yeah, I put my comments and my suggestions in the forum, the Gemvision forum.
Yeah,
I find that's pretty quick. I know Bo's always on there.
Yeah, I was about to say, preferably the forum's the ideal place,
Yeah, because also there is also the social media, and I know that sometimes it's fast to go there, but for us, many times, there is times that when you get one post in the social media, you don't know if it's something that we are missing from our software, or either it's something that the customer is not doing the right way. So it's much better if we can go into the forum and talk to the customers, or even, customers can help each other. And in the forum, I feel like is the right place where, we can have this interaction.
There's a Q&A question. It asks, can the recording be accessed afterwards?
Yes. So what we will do is through Zoom, we will get, once everything is uploaded, then the people will be able to get into. The only thing that you need to do is go to the registration page where the people has been registered, and from there they will be able to ask the video on demand. So we'll have it there.
Yep.
You know what this means, right, Joseph? It means that all that you have been doing, the people were super interested, so they wanna know how to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I gotta go slow next time. I was probably moving too quick.
I do that all the time. Whenever I record videos, I have to mentally say, slow down, because I came from production, right? So I'm so used to going pop, 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 pop.
Right.
Most of the problems that I ever have in MatrixGold, really, to be quite honest, is exactly that. I get going maybe a little too fast, overlook clicking on something or hitting enter before I go and try to do something else. So most of my issues have always been, and I always try to find out why it happened. And 90% of the time it's because I clicked on something or I did something that I probably shouldn't have done. And then I try and remember that, stay with the program, focus with the program, follow the commands. And I really don't have any issues with it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and I think a big thing to kind of point out too is if you're comfortable doing all of the surface modeling, you can still do it. We admittedly so are super excited about parametric history and the possibilities. So that's kind of what we talk about a lot. But if you're comfortable with surface modeling and editing control points, we'll call it the hard way. But if you like it that way, then by all means you can do it that way. But the parametric history is there if you can and if you need.
And it's important also to say, I believe that MatrixGold is huge, right? So as we were saying, there is all the parametric side, but there is many times that you can use the parametric side for just one part of your design. So as a starter, so you have a base, and then actually we have also commands like the Pave that Donald was showing that is not parametric, because we don't think that a parametric Pave would be good to have, because there is a lot of variations. So it's also good to keep in mind to say, okay, I have all this base that I can start from, and then just for the last steps, I can do it without the parametric. So it's good to combine the different technologies. All right, look, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes. So I believe that the four of us, we get excited with the software, and we could stay here. Probably the next time we should get 2 hours, not 1 hour, and we keep working and talking about MatrixGold. But thank you so much, Joseph and Donald. I really appreciate. I think that for people who's coming from Matrix and going through MatrixGold, knowing from people like you and knowing that you are using MatrixGold, only MatrixGold to work and make a living from it, I think that it's very, very important. So we really appreciate the presentation that you did. Thank you so much, and we keep in touch for any feedback that you have. So this is super, super important.
Yeah. Oreo and I can say how great the program is, all day, but nobody believes us because
yeah.
Well, they should. They should.
That's right.
Take it from me. You should.
And well, thank you also for being here. So, boys, one of the base of all these people all coming from Matrix and going through MatrixGold. So, thank you all for all the effort that you are doing every day with that, and for today being here. So, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Yeah, good morning, Donald.
Good night. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you very much.
Bye.